go. If you like an unorthodox love story about an ugly green monster who falls in love with a princess after rescuing her with the help of a donkey friend, you will likely have seen the effects of the social comparison theory in action. Today, we're going to discuss the topic social comparison theory uh, and what it can do with people. And we're using Shrek, the movie Shrek, as the example. We all watch movies, some more than others, but everyone can agree on one thing. We are all somewhat self-conscious about ourselves, especially in the light of what others look like. Uh, this can be easily acknowledged, knowing that these movies demonstrate this one way or another. As students enrolled in speech 1311, we hope to convey these ideas using Shrek as the example. I'll do this first by defining and explaining what the social comparison theory is, and then I will show a pop culture example of this model by playing the clip from Shrek and describe how it represents this theory. And lastly, I will explain the strength and shortcomings of the social comparison theory. So the textbook definition of the social comparison theory is that the theory states that we describe and evaluate ourselves in terms of how we compare to others. The social comparison theory is based on two dimensions: superiority/inferiority, and then similarity and difference. This allows us to compare particular strengths and differences in certain fields based off of others. And it was developed by Leon Festinger in 1954. Uh, as far as what a sender, the person who is conducting the evaluation, uh, that person receives evaluation based off of how they apply that theory. And the receiver receives nothing out of it because it's a subconscious thought that the sender is performing. Research outside our textbooks, often everybody else around us knows that this is something that we do subconsciously. It's a very common thing. And it's nice to be able to put a name to that subconscious thought. Best way that we could personally explain it is a subconscious way the human body evaluates our own skills and shortcomings, and it can also have a negative impact on the user if the evaluation is not representative of the group, meaning that the group of people that we are evaluating are not representative of ourselves. Now that we have established the social comparison theory by defining it, let's look at a specific example to help us further understand it.
Let uh, what you were able to see there was during Fiona's transformation, You get to see Shrek call her beautiful and just stunned by how she looks. This is the first time that Fiona got to experience such emotions because she was constantly faced with prejudices and had to evaluate her beauty and her feelings based off of what other people were telling her how ugly she was. For example, Lord Farquaad right there immediately when he saw her ogre transformation, he called her ugly and it's just unhuman. This solidifies Shrek and Fiona's bond as they both come to accept each other for who they truly are. And the scene is a key moment of empowerment for Fiona as she embraces her true self and rejects societal expectations. Fiona views herself in this low way because of all these ridicule. She was locked in a dungeon for most of her life because of how she looks. But when she saw how Shrek looked at her, she began to reevaluate this feeling of rejection and ridicule. When she starts to see herself as more beautiful, she becomes more beautiful. This is part of the pros for the social opinions theory. Self-esteem regulation. Because you can evaluate your self-esteem based off what others are telling you, such as just a simple reaction of a smile when you feel ugly, you start to see yourself as more of a beautiful person. And you're able to compare opinions based off of Shrek and Lord Farquaad. Lord Farquaad's opinions were negative, and immediately you got to see that uh, they negatively affect Fiona with her small smile and anguish, while when Shrek's opinion just lifted her up much more than they ever possibly could. But with pros come cons. They also have the possibility of these negative emotions like jealousy and inadequacy, especially when somebody is telling you how ugly you are. And you constantly comparing oneself to others. See how that Fiona uh, was happy and then immediately became sad. It just can't always be comparing to others. We've explored the social experience theory and its impact on human behavior. Through the lens of this theory, we examine the pivotal scene in the movie Shrek where Fiona reveals her true self, showing how social companionism can influence a personal attributes. This scene highlights the powerful effects of the comparing oneself to societal norms and the liberation that comes from embracing one's authentic identity. It's important to recognize that while social experiences can provide motivation and validation, also carries the potential for negative emotions and positive ones. And it's important to foster positive self-esteem and personal